Final Fantasy VI is probably my favorite of all the Final Fantasy games, and a big part of that is just how vivid and alive the world feels. You have so many little quirky side stories and unsolved mysteries that there's just a real sense that life goes on in this world, with or without the main characters. Of all of these mysteries, I think the one that I thought about the most over the years is the character Siegfried. It just always seemed like there was so much more to that character than we ever saw in that game. I mean, he had his own unique sprite, very compelling, random, quirky encounters that just seemed like it was building towards something more than it wound up being. It just seemed like way too much work was put into this character for it to have been left off as just like some unexplained running gag. As a kid, there was a time when I was so convinced of how important he was that I would sit there with a Game Genie and try to find a way to get him into my party, and although that never really amounted to anything, I might not have been so off base with that theory. You see, recently I found out about a fan theory that Siegfried was actually supposed to be a bigger part of Gogo's storyline, and that makes so much sense. You see, when you meet Siegfried at the Coliseum, he tells you that there's a person that's been going around recently, impersonating him, and the Siegfried at the Coliseum is so much stronger than the guy you meet earlier in the game, and the guy you meet earlier in the game is characterized differently. He's kind of like a bungling idiot treasure hunter. And yet, despite what an idiot Siegfried comes across as, you have characters like Ultros trying to impress him. He says something like, when he's trying to steal the Esper statues, that he hopes this gains Siegfried's respect. So clearly the Siegfried guy has some kind of a good reputation that the imposter is trying to capitalize on. Now, of all the characters in the game, who else would do this besides Gogo? But at this point, we're just making guesses and we don't really have anything substantial to back up this theory. What makes it actually plausible to me is the fact that Gogo was changed slightly before the release of Final Fantasy VI. As Gogo is in the game now, you find him by going to the Triangle Island, getting eaten by the Zone Eater, and then you just find him inside the maze. There's never really any explanation for why, and nothing to prompt us to do this. A lot of people probably would never have found Gogo if they didn't have a guide to tell them to do this, because there's no reason for it. The original plan for Gogo was going to be that he was going to travel to different towns in the game in real time, and you would have to meet him at a pub impersonating one of your characters. The developers found that this was just way too hard. You would never actually be able to be in the right place at the right time to find him, so they just changed this at the last minute. So here's what I think happened. I think the original plan was for you to go to the Coliseum, speak to Siegfried, who tells you about his impersonator. That conversation would be the thing that triggers you to go out into the world and look for Gogo. However, they were so far along in development when they decided to change the way you find Gogo that they just left the unfinished quest in there. And there you go, all these weird little encounters with the fake Siegfried that never really amount to anything. Now it's just a little unsolved mystery to add some character to the game. But really, this is all just guesswork. I don't know if we'll ever know the true story about what Siegfried was supposed to be, or if it was totally intended for him to be the way that he is in the game. I don't think we'll ever know for sure. Anyway, if anybody else has any other video game mysteries they would like me to talk about, please let me know in the comment section. If I use your idea for a video, I'll give you a shout out. Right now, I'm going to shout out my dude Kevin, who he sold me so fucking hard on Final Fantasy 15 that it kind of reignited my interest in the series, so thanks for that. Anyway, until next time, everybody get...